We just want to get on with the job. It is freezing outside. The boys need to get moving. We are very much prepared now for the job. We have covered everything. We just added a little bit of rubber on the laminate on where we're going to be walking most of the time so that it can be protected and not scratched when you're walking on it. And now we just want to carry everything in. We want to make sure that you don't run back and forth constantly for things in the van. You want to have as many things out of the van and in a safe place so nobody can take them. So materials and such are organized outside so that we know where to get them from. You don't want to spread them out everywhere. If you start spreading things out, especially your tools and materials, everything is going to be a chaos. And because we want to have it more organized, because we're going to already have chaos in the house, we don't want our materials to be everywhere. So organize materials outside and make sure that you're not tripping over anything. We need to cut everything from this fuse board so that nothing is going to be powered. Markings are very key to being able to know where the socket's going to be, where the switch is going to be. You want to make it the exact height so that you don't go around guessing, oh, it's here, oh, it's there. You see, when you start to make a lot of mess throughout the house, the ground is not going to be exactly level anymore because there's going to be stones everywhere. So that's why you want to do the markings now, so that you know for certain this is the exact height, and level it as well, so that when you come back, nothing is out of order anymore. You know for certain the switch goes here, no more messing around. Then comes the next important process, removing absolutely everything. We've got to remove everything in the house that is old. And absolutely, since this is a rewire, absolutely everything is old. All the lights, all the sockets, all the switches. There have been some cases where there have been new lights that the people had to put in. Of course, you're going to keep that. You're not going to just throw it away. This is why you need to discuss everything with the customer. But when the plan is in motion, you just start to remove everything that you know has got to go. See how fast we remove this light? Just cut it off. What's the point of unscrewing the light? I've seen many people just unscrewing, pulling off the light bulb, unscrewing it, putting it nicely aside. Now it's all in one piece. I would also recommend, if you cannot remove that, if you cannot unscrew that cap at the very top, use a hammer, smash it. Now we just need an extra pair of hands. You can't do everything on your own. So even though we are spread out throughout the whole house, we may call on each other if we need a hand. Right now my dad is on his own struggling to pull out the mini fridge, and so just giving a hand. Normally at the bottom of any appliance there are these screw-on feet. The floor is uneven. When people put kitchens down, they don't always put down the tiles everywhere. In some instances, when you want to save some money on some tiles, what you would do is you'd put all the tiles where you would normally be walking and a little bit further in for any appliance, so when you look under it, or if you can look under it, it doesn't look ugly. But a lot of the time behind the appliances, at the very back, it's just a different level entirely. And so that's why they have these screw-on feet, so you can adjust it manually if you feel like it. Okay, now in the back it's a bit lower, so you just adjust the feet so they're a bit longer, and in the front's a bit shorter. So now the unlevel ground, everything is fine. The appliance itself will be level. This is very important now. We have cut off all of the power. There is no longer power in the house. It's all been cut off, since we still have a vacuum and a chaser that needs to receive volts. And so for it to receive volts, you're going to need to have a socket. We just connect a plug, nice and safe, inside of the fuse board, run it outside to whatever length we want. Normally we like to run it as, you could say, halfway as possible throughout the house. And then we add an extension run it further, plug in the vacuum, and voila, you have a chaser and a vacuum ready to go. 18th edition states 134.1.1 good workmanship by one or more skilled or instructed persons and proper materials shall be used in the erection of an electrical installation. This installation of electrical equipment shall take account of manufacturer's instructions. You are told by 18th edition, which is the Bible for electricians, that you should do a proper job. All electricians are held to the same standard. We must be competent and skilled to understand how to work with cables. This is an example of what a person who is not well versed and very much unskilled would do. The stripped cable, very hazardous. If it touches the box, it will trip the breaker. This can cause fires. Very dangerous. And you can see it's not just one cable, but multiple cables that are stripped super long. This gives a bad name to all electricians. When you come to jobs and see what other electricians did before you, you question how they were even allowed on site or to be able to do this job at all. The customers wanted us to keep these tiles. They didn't want us to damage them. The original plan was for us to chase through the tiles and then they'll be changed later. But I don't know if you can see this. These tiles are so built into the wall, it's one with the wall. It's no longer tiles sticking out of the wall, it's super flat. And personally, I love this design. This design is absolutely amazing. It is so clean and it just looks great. Anything that you'd add on there, it would just look simple. So what we're doing is we're just cutting with an angle grinder and a vacuum so there's no mess and dust everywhere. We're just cutting the exact shape of a back box so that it can fit perfectly in. And we have a different plan for bringing the cables. This is what I imagine when somebody says, I chased the wall. This, in my opinion, is the easiest way to chase. So now you will see how we're going to make a hole and get the cable to reach our socket. Drill a big long hole behind where the chase has been made into those boxes. You can see here by this demonstration, our metal drill bit has reached the socket. Perfect. Now we need to also reach from underneath because we need to continue with the cable so that we can add another socket for an appliance. I think it's the washing machine. So since we need a socket down there, the plan is to do the exact same thing, but opposite. Now you drill from down up into the socket. Another very important part of being organized at work is cleaning. If you leave a lot of mess around yourself, I have realized through many experiences, it agitates you.